Cubs Sportcast pregame show for your game versus De La Salle at U of D. I'm Aiden London, joined by
Jason Brown.
And we have a few talking points we want to talk about you today. First of all, in De La Salle's first two Catholic League games, they have yet to score 50 points. U of D has not scored less than 60 points all year. These two teams play at a different speed, a different caliber. What do you think about that, Jason?
Yeah, I think we're a high-scoring team. Sonny Wilson leading the way for us, along with Xavier Banks, our senior captains. And they're going to look to get it done today on Friday. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, De La Salle, their leading scorer is Phoenix Glasner. He's really carried their offensive load this year, although they've been slower. Nino Carter is their senior captain. He's been a four-year starter for them. And Michael Sulaka is their 6'9" center, and he's going to Western. Who do you think is the most impactful player on that list, Jason?
I think Phoenix Glasner. He's a rising sophomore, and he had a great game against St. Mary's. I think he had at least 18 points. So I think if the Cubs can stop Phoenix Glasner, and also the big matchup between Xavier Banks and Sulaka. I know they've been going head-to-head past couple years, so it'll be good to see both of those guys get stopped. I know Sonny will handle it against Nino Carter.
Yeah, like I said, both these guys, both Carter and Sulaka, have played against Banks and Wilson all 4 years at De La Salle and U of D respectively. U of D has looked better in these games the last 4 years. And like we said, Sonny Wilson, Xavier Banks leading the way for the Cubs. But the Cubs still continuing to look for a third option that is consistent. We've seen guys like Leroy Blyden step up, guys like Xavier Johnson, guys like Ryan Hatcher. Who do you think is going to step up today for us, Jason?
I think Leroy Blyden might also contribute. I think Gerard McCoy, he's able to stretch the floor with his three-point shooting. And I think also Ryan Hatcher will have a good game if he's able to get some more minutes.
Yeah, obviously Hatcher, a great three-point shooter, so look out for that. And so U of D, like we said before, has matched up well against De La Salle for the last 4 years. They have a winning record against them. Unfortunately, U of D had to watch De La Salle win it all last year. Do you think U of D is playing with a chip on their shoulder tonight?
Oh, of course. I mean, watching the team you beat a couple times win a state championship also sucks. And also, I think that U of D had a harder road on the playoffs than De La Salle did. I think De La Salle had what we call a cakewalk to the state championship. I think many will agree with that, so I think the Cubs are looking for their get back.
Now, like we said before, U of D is one of, if not the fastest teams in the state with a breakneck speed offense. Do you think De La Salle will be able to keep up today?
No, I don't think so. I think the Cubs will do everything to just overpower the Pilots and take them down.
Yeah, De La Salle, they might be, not as fleet-footed as U of D, but they are strong. This is a heavy team. They have multiple 200-pounders, while our sole 200-pounder is Xavier Banks.
But I think one key point to winning this game has to be our free throw shooting. We saw in the Mary's game that some of the free throws killed us late in situations and caused a loss. So.
Yeah, like we said before, Glasner is obviously their leading scorer, probably their best player, and he had a great game against Mary's in a blowout loss at home. Do you think he'll be able to respond to this? Do you think he will, or do you think he'll be shut down?
I think we have a better defensive presence than Mary's did, so I think he'll be limited to even less points than he had against Mary's.
That is a good point. U of D obviously lost to Mary's in a controversial loss. Mary's floor seemed more like a slip and slide, almost injuring multiple of our players. We lost in overtime. De La Salle played at De La Salle, and they lost by 18.
Not a good look for them. I think also home court advantage, especially in Catholic League, plays a big role in wins and losses. So I think we'll be able to get back against Mary's when they're back here at the Jazz.
Now, if you're generally a U of D fan and you've been only watching U of D, De La Salle has done this for 4 years. They're a very slow team in the half court. What they like to do is they run the pick and roll motion and wait for a switch, and then they pound it down low with their big U of D will be able to fight over screens and avoid that switch defense today?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think Coach Donnelly will also implement his favorite half-court press, which seems to be working all season. We saw it against CC, saw it against Mary's, and it's able to shut down the offense and really cause turnovers and fast break points.
All right, well, thank you for joining us on the pregame show, and we will be right with you in a minute. Hi, welcome to the Cubs Sportcast pregame show.
It's a cold night in the D. I'm Aiden London, joined by
Ian Sherry.
And man, we have a good game for you guys today. We got De La Salle at University of Detroit Jesuit. Ian, what do you think about this game?
Well, I think it's really important early in the Catholic League season for both of these teams to try to set the tone. Obviously, UD came off a loss to St. Mary's, but they played pretty well. They had a whole thing with the wet floors and they did push it to overtime. But the Cubs are looking to bounce back here, and the Pilots are away. So I give the edge to the Cubs here tonight. They need this win.
The Cubs currently 8-1. Pilots sit at 6-3. Pilots lost big to Marys at home, 63-45. Do you think U of D matches up better against De La Salle due to their resilience against Marys and De La Salle's sailing?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, I think U of D is certainly better suited to guard a team like St. Mary's. I think our forwards are a little bit better defensively, and that's a big part of it. Obviously, St. Mary's, all their scoring comes from the forward position. So, in that sense, it's really hard to tell. U of D's better suited to play against Mary's, but in a team like this, I mean, there's some big dudes on this De La Salle team, and U of D's been running a lot of small ball this year, a tight rotation, so we'll see. But I do give the edge to U of D here.
Both these teams 1-1 in the Catholic League, both lost to Marys. Our scoreboard is not quite updated. Catholic Central has fallen to 0-3. Brother Rice is 2-1, or 2-2. And then obviously U of D and De La Salle will sit at 1-1. This is an important game, Ian. Any of these teams lose tonight, they fall back further in the Catholic League.
Yeah, and that's not something you want to do. I mean, it is a long season. There's time to recover, but you just want to lead all the way if you can, don't you? I mean, you just want to stay in front.
Yeah, obviously, this is a big Catholic League. Home games are important. It is really hard to win on the road in the Catholic League. De La Salle kind of choked their home game against St. Mary's. Do you think they'll try to respond today?
Oh, absolutely. I think, both teams are looking for, some revenge here. Those are tough losses. An overtime loss, a blowout, both of them hurt. So they're both looking to bounce back here. The one thing I will say as far as the standings is, this is a tough year division-wise for the Catholic League, and there's a lot of strong teams, but none of them, I think, stand head and shoulders above the rest. I really think it's pretty evenly matched. I mean, De La Salle, Marys, U of D, all strong teams, and obviously Brother Rice was ranked number 1 for a while, so we're going to see a lot of teams with probably records that don't reflect just how good they are come the end of the season.
I agree with that sentiment, Ian. Like you guys just saw on the screen, we have our stats from the last game. 73 points, 68% from the line. That is a big improvement for the Cubs, Ian. Do you think they will carry this free throw momentum?
I really hope so. I mean, they really struggled their first couple games. They played, for the most part, dominant ball games against teams that they should dominate. But when it came to the free throw line, they just had issues. And, there was a couple games that came down closer to the wire than they should have just because they weren't able to hit those late game free throws, and those are the kind of things that give you the edge, so they need to carry that momentum into this game.
I would agree with that. Now, Ian, like we said on our pregame show, unfortunately you cannot be with us. You were sick, so Jason Brown stepped in, and we discussed U of D obviously has their 1-2 punch, Sonny Wilson, Xavier Banks. Who do you think will be the third option for the Cubs today?
I'd like something from Blyden. I think he's got to be the guy. He's new to the scene. People haven't seen as much from him this year. He's had a couple good games, especially at the start of the season. He's a good scoring guard. I think that'll really be useful. You're going to have a lot of defensively, the guard's attention is going to be on Sonny Wilson all game, and that's going to open up some windows for Blyden and really any of the young scorers. You have Ryan Hatcher, too, the junior. I think he could contribute on the offensive end. So, I'm looking for guard play tonight.
I'm looking for a big offensive game from Gerard McCoy, generally known as a defensive specialist, but he can stretch the floor when he gets hot. I'm looking for him to make some threes tonight.
Yeah, I like that.
Got 4 minutes and 18 seconds till tip-off. My name is Ian London, joined by Ian Sherry, and we will join you guys when we are back and live. Detroit, baby. Pilot starting lineups have just been announced. We should have that graphic on the screen now. And the Cub starting lineups are being announced as we speak.
This is going to be an exciting.
Man, is it loud today. Student section in the hunting, fishing, and blackout theme. That's a collaboration if I've ever seen one, Ian.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to think of it. All I know is it's going to be loud in here tonight. Feel the energy.
Your starting lineup for the Cubs is Wilson, Blyden, Johnson, and McCoy, and Banks.
Banks is going to have a big night.
Big night on both ends if he wants to slow down Sulaka.
Yep.
I believe this is the first Catholic League home game, Ian.
It is for the Cubs, yes.
It's important to set a tone tonight, see how we will play for the rest of the season. This
Yeah.
game has serious playoff implications as both these teams are competing for a state title.
They certainly are. I mean, both teams could have made it. I mean, the Cubs could have made it further in the tournament last year, I think, and De La Salle was fantastic last year.
And De La Salle wins the tip to Glasner. He'll pass it back to Smith. Wilson picks him up. Hits Sulaka, faces up, drives by Banks, spin move, shoots a layup. No good, rebound Banks.
He's just trying to use his size there, and Banks is strong enough to hold up.
McCoy with it now, finds Blyden. Blyden picked up by Holder. Gets a screen from McCoy. Finds Johnson, Johnson fakes, drives in, jump stop. It's Blyden again. Blyden drives in, shoots the layup over Slaka. It's good.
That's a great
Leroy
take.
Blyden with the big guy move.
Blyden's flipping the ball, the primary ball handler on the first possession. I really like that. Gives Sonny Wilson a break.
Slaka now with the ball. Banks on him. McCoy picks up number 22. Jack Yanchik. Smith for three. No good. Air ball. Rebound Wilson. Finds McCoy on the break. McCoy makes the layup. It's good. Assist Sonny Wilson. Great finish from the junior Gerard McCoy.
Love to see the defense turn into offense. Cubs pushing the pace there. Sonny Wilson with a dime.
Smith now working on Blyden. Man, it is loud already. And
Yeah, Donnelly's loud, isn't he?
when is he not? Slaka working on Banks, has nothing. Slaka picks up his dribble, passes back out to Smith.
Good patient offense here from the Pilots.
This is what we said we'd see all night. This team plays disciplined, slow, and kind of boring. Yanchek hits Smith again, picks up the screen. Johnson switches on to Smith. Slaka shoots the midi over Banks. It's good. 4-2 ball game.
That's a nice take from the big man there, but he did have a mismatch. I wonder if he saw it or if he just thought he had that shot.
Banks screens for Wilson. Wilson drives in. Finds Johnson on the three line. Johnson drives in, shoots a floater. No good. Rebound Slaka.
That's a good take from Johnson there. It sometimes seems like the game speeds up on him, but that was good. He just didn't convert.
Slaka drives in on Banks, loses his dribble. Banks with the steal. Banks pushing, throws a bad pass. Holman picks it off. Slaka catches the lob, and it's good. 4-4 ball game.
Blyden got caught in sort of a Brandon Knight situation there. Nothing he can do.
Pilots showing a press from Smith, trying to slow the game down a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's the right call here.
Cubs running their signature weave. Wilson finds Johnson down low. Johnson finishes. Sweet finish. Great find from Wilson.
That's just great offense.
That's a sign of a well-coached team making those great cuts and finding those good passes.
Absolutely. They're making the game easy on themselves, and that's what you love to see. Easy buckets.
Wilson on Phoenix. Glasner now. Glasner is their leading scorer. Slaka with the ball again. He's held it most of the game. Sets a screen. Holden drives in. Finds Slaka. Slaka shoots a floater. No good. Rebound. Nobody. Johnson picks it up. Swings it to Banks. Throws another bad pass. Johnson now. Glasner working on Johnson. Holden shoots a three. It's good.
And it's twice now that the Cubs just got ahead of themselves on the inbound pass, and you can't have that. Great defensive stand, though. And I think that the timely double team there on the big man is really smart.
7-6 ball game. Pilots lead with 4:20 left in the first. Johnson with the ball. Finds Blyden. Blyden spin move layup. No good. Rebound Slaka. Smith with the ball now. He's pushing. Slowing the game down. Drives in behind the back. Fakes it. Finds Slaka. And Pilots pass it back out.
De La Salle essentially running a 3-guard lineup here, and they've been good on the perimeter.
Glasner now drives in, gets the call on Banks. That's his first foul of the game.
It seems like the Pilots offensively have been really interested in attacking Banks so far, and that's interesting. He's sort of untested this year defensively. It's just been bigger.
We'll see how he holds up tonight. I believe in him. Glasner now to shoot 2. How Faithful making it difficult on him. Drains the first one.
Yeah, and for the record, I don't think that's the right way to go. I think Banks is going to stand up just fine.
Number 32, in Nemeka Ikiche checks in now. Glasner's second is good. Call it 9-6 Pilots, 3:50 left in the first.
Need more patient offense here from the Cubs.
Blyden picks up a screen from McCoy. It's another one from Banks. Ignores it. Finds Banks cutting. Banks finishes the sweet layup. Way to slip the screen. Great pass from Blyden. 8-9 Pilots.
Absolutely a great pass.
Glasner fakes a 3. Wilson on him. Finds Smith. Pilots yet again slowing it down.
And we hear a lot about Sonny Wilson being the leader of this team offensively, but you ought to look at what he does on the defensive end as well.
Wilson matched up on their best player offensively as Smith gets a screen from Ikiche. Shoots a floater, no good. Rebound Johnson. Wilson with the ball. Bounce past McCoy. McCoy fakes a 3. Finds Wilson. Cubs looking to slow it down. Wilson calls for a screen from Banks. Banks slips the screen again. Mid-range Jay. Wilson, no good. Rebound Ikiche.
That was the right call by McCoy there to pass up that first shot. And Sonny got a good look. You know, he's going to start knocking those down like he does every game.
Pilots setting up their signature half-court offense now. Glasner step back mid-range. No good. Rebound Ikiche. Spin move. Finishes on McCoy. Tough move from Ikiche.
Yeah, they're strong down low.
Wilson drives in. Shoots a tough layup over 2 guys. It's good. That's your superstar, Sonny Wilson there.
It's Sonny Wilson's world on offense.
2:10 left in the first. Smith now passes the holder for 3. It's good.
Well, he's got 2 of those. I mean, you got to be careful. He can get it off in a hurry. Both of those 3-pointers that he has, very quick releases.
And yet again, Holder with his 3rd steal. McCoy chases him down, finds Slaka. Slaka baptizes McCoy on that one.
Sonny Wilson bringing the ball up there, catching some hand checks from the defender, but it's just not a problem.
Banks drives in, shoots a tough layup, and one!
That's how you
Xavier
respond.
Banks!
Absolutely what the Cubs needed right there. A big response after Slaka with the big bucket last possession.
Yeah, like we said, Smith and Wilson and Slaka and Banks have matched up all 4 years of their high school careers. This is a big rivalry, and these teams really just don't like each other.
If you pay attention right there, De La Salle taking out their power forward and U of D taking out our power forward, putting in a quicker lineup, try and get the offensive advantage.
Banks converts the and one. 13-16 Pilots, 1:29 left in the first.
Blyden's got to sit on 2 here. He's got 2 3-pointers already.
Hatcher looks for the steal, pokes it loose, and Johnson saves it for him. Hatcher pushing. Hatcher drives in and slows it down, finds Wilson on the perimeter. Banks calling for the ball down low. They got to find him. Sonny, downtown, 16-16.
Well, I wasn't happy to see him shoot that ball, but then he made it, so.
Sonny Wilson, why not let it fly? Ties the game with 45 seconds left in the first quarter.
When you have it like he does.
Slaka tries the response, no good. Wilson gets the rebound. He's fast as all heck, and he takes it coast to coast. Wilson with his personal 5-0 run in 15 seconds. What a play.
That was not a smart shot, and Wilson just took advantage. He's faster than the other team.
Slaka looked for the response, but he's no Sonny Wilson. Glasner now working on Hatcher. Yanchik with the ball. Pilots trying to set up something in the half court. Cubs sniff it out. Glasner attempts a tough three. It's good. 19-18 Pilots after one.
Well, what I love to see there on the defensive end is Hatcher really sitting on him. I mean, that's an amazing shot. There's nothing you can do as a defender, but oftentimes in late game scenarios, Hatcher will get subbed out as they opt for more defense, but right there, he looked just fine getting active on the defensive end, don't you think?
It was a great closeout. He had his hand on the ball on the first possession that he was on the floor. Second possession, he closed out. That was a 100% smother. I don't know how he made that.
Yeah, there's just nothing you can do on those shots. Great response from the Pilots, but Sonny Wilson with that 5-0 run there at the end, I think the Cubs have some momentum here, don't you?
Cubs got all the swing right now. Glasner might have made a tough three, but I think the Cubs got all the momentum at home.
Yeah. And the student section is only going to add to it.
Yeah, this lineup, the longer the night goes on, the more people show up. Few tardies.
Of course.
Always. But people, they might be late, but there's no jugs in this situation.
Mm-mm.
Second quarter will begin. Pilots showing Glasner, Broski, Yanchek, Slaka, and Smith. Cubs showing Wilson, Blyden, Hatcher, Johnson, and Banks.
Both teams sticking with the smallest lineup that they've had so far today. No power forwards for either team, really running with a small forward, and 3 guards.
Broski harassing Blyden now. Hatcher shoots a three. It's deflected. Rebound, Yanchik.
Yeah, Hatcher, he didn't get many minutes in the first quarter, probably looking to make an impact there, but that's just not the shot you want, especially to start a quarter.
Glasner now working on Blyden. Salle calling a play. Yanchik slows the game down. Glasner fakes a three, drives in, step back.
Cubs student section wanted to travel.
Smith working on Hatcher now. Double crossover, spin move. Tough midi, rims out. Rebound Johnson. Johnson finds Wilson now. Johnson with a tough dribble. Or Wilson, excuse me. Wilson shoots the floater, no good. Rebound Slaka.
And you see that Wilson matchup. These two guards have been going at it for 4 years now. It's just really fun to watch.
Salle doing their signature, hold the ball and slow the game down. And Xavier Johnson got a little aggressive, called for the foul on Glasner. Pilots to inbound now.
He did reach, but no harm done. You like the aggressive defense. Both teams have played a clean game thus far, so don't mind that foul. I like the energy.
You had to check the inbound man. Finds Glasner on the elbow. Slaka trying to go to work on Banks. Spin move, layup, it's good. Pilots lead 21-18. 6:35 left in the second.
And I think I know why De La Salle's gone with the smaller lineup here. They want to feed that big man, and to avoid the double team, they've got their shooters in.
Johnson shot a layup, but he was fouled by Smith. He'll go to the line to shoot too.
Probably a smart foul there by the Pilots. I mean, the UD has not shot well from the free throw line thus far this year, but that did improve last game, so hopefully they can continue that here.
Yeah, Johnson obviously a tough finisher. If you're the Pilots, you'll take that foul.
Absolutely. Athletic guy.
Drains the first one, 19-21 Pilots.
Got to have these, and that's a great make there. I mean, it's just the kind of thing that keeps you in games, wins you games. You love to see that from a sophomore.
Johnson drains the second, 2 for 2 that time. McCoy now comes in for Johnson.
Cubs looking for some more size here, and I think I like that call.
Yeah, McCoy, his arms are super long, so you like that.
Absolutely.
Glasner now working on Hatcher. Slaka working on Banks. Pilots setting all kinds of off-ball screens. They got nothing going, though. Blind and deflects Smith's pass. Cubs running full half-court trap now. And Smith with the costly error. He saw it, Blyden and Banks, and he said, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to throw it out of bounds.
Now right there, Xavier Banks double-teamed on the screen, and instead of dropping, he just pushed it even further. And then when the ball went over the half court, he pushed it even further. And that's the kind of thing the Cubs need to do tonight. They have the energy.
Yeah, obviously, this Cub team is much faster, and they want to play with that speed. They want to hurry this De La Salle team up. Hatcher, crossover move, hop step, layup, no good. Rebound Banks. Banks with the up fake, and it's good. Cubs take the lead, 22-21, 5:40 left in the first half.
Awful lot of contact there.
Yeah, Banks obviously a tough finisher. You love to see that from him, especially on the big Slaka.
Yeah. Tasting his own medicine.
Pilot slowing it down. Wilson on Smith. Pilots get the switch. Blight on Smith now.
Great
Pilots
defense
bringing
from
it
the
back
Cubs.
to the logo again. Spin move Yanchik. He's got Slatka. Tough rebound from Banks after a great post defense possession. And Wilson gets the foul. Tough finish. Great first step to blow by Smith. And Smith is a little late and he fouls.
That's not a shot that Wilson always takes, but he noticed right there that Slaka was not down the court yet, and without those long arms down there in the post, he decided to give it a try, and it turns out to be the right call.
Wilson makes the first, extends the lead to 2.
Pilots bring in more size here.
Bringing Akiche and
No, they're
Holder.
not.
Slaka taking his first break of the game.
Yeah, I actually stand corrected. They're going a little bit smaller here, taking out, well, how tall is Slaka? 6'7", 6'8"?
6'9".
Wow. Whoa.
9 inches.
That's a lot taller than me.
Wilson to attempt his second. It's all good from Sonny Wilson, obviously the best free throw shooter on this team. Cubs trying to hurry up the Pilots. They're pressing. Yanchik fires down to Glasner. He finds him. Glasner takes a tough midi. No good. Rebound Hatcher. Hatcher pushing. Hatcher finds Wilson. Wilson trying to get to his spot. Takes a tough layup. Blocked by Yanchik. Tough rebound Akiche. Oh, Blyden with the steal. Akiche threw the ball up. Banks working on Akiche now. Drop step. And they call a foul on Akiche on the floor. He took off Banks' shoe. Or excuse me, he took off his own shoe.
Screaming patience there from the U of D bench, but U of D gets away with it. They draw the foul. That was a little bit scattered, but once again, the U of D energy in front of their home crowd tonight is really paying off.
Slaka got his quality 45-second break, and he gets number 22, Jack Yanachek. Wilson on the inbound. It's good. Tough inbound finish from Wilson.
Flexing on the defender.
Pilots trying not to fall too far behind in this game. They're slowing it down, though. Slaka has the ball. Kiche working on McCoy in the post, but Slaka still has it. Blyden gets screened by Kiche. Glasner drives in and one.
He's a good scorer. He's having a good game so far. Getting the most touches probably offensively, don't you think, other than Slaka?
Slaka holds the ball for most of the possession, but it seems to be that Glasner is their biggest playmaker.
So far, UD's been great from the stripe. It'd be nice if Glasner just missed a few, right? He just missed this.
He's only got one. He made it.
Just missed the shot, though. Oh.
He made it. That's too bad. And it appears that the Pilots will take a timeout. They want to talk it over. We got 57 seconds to talk, Ian.
Well, I always enjoy that, Aiden.
I know. We don't get to talk to each other enough.
I know. We haven't talked to each other all game.
I know. So who do you think is the biggest impact player for the Pilots to this point?
Oh, well, it's got to be Slaka. I mean, they're pounding the ball to him down low. They're keeping those shooters on the perimeter to prevent the Cub double team that was working well early in the game. So he's got to be the guy. But, Banks has been standing up more recently. He's starting to settle in. And I think that's going to be a fun battle for the rest of the game. It'll be interesting to see how the Cubs respond.
It's interesting as Banks has yet to go up against somebody who's bigger and taller than him this season. He's matching up really well against Slaka. Seems to know that he knows all of his moves.
Yeah, I'm sure he's been studying him. I mean, a guy that big, you just have to come prepared. And Banks seems to have done his homework.
Four seconds till we are back. It is loud here. My Apple Watch just told me we've hit 90 decibels, Ian.
Yeah, it's loud. And, it's just been helping the Cubs, right? That energy's been great.
This team plays well off the energy. But obviously, U of D basketball is probably tied for our best sport. We're pretty good at track, too.
Yes, we are. State champs.
Pilots switching it up, switching the zone with Ikiche playing the middle.
I like that call from the Pilots. I think that's pretty smart.
Slows the game down. Sonny, snatch back three. It's no good.
And the Cubs have been thriving off of cutters all game, and that'll certainly cut down on that kind of thing. Not as many people getting beat in the one-on-one man situation.
The zone makes you play incredibly slow, and that's what the Pilots want today.
Yep.
Kiche up top. Swings to Holder.
Holder loves to shoot.
He's a three-point shooter. I don't know how I know that.
Is it because he's white?
Slaka looks to travel. No call.
Yeah.
Slaka down low. No good. They call a foul on Blyden. Soft foul. Johnson looks to be getting Blyden now.
Yeah, Cubs got away with a mismatch early in the possession. It seemed like a matter of time until they got that ball to Slaka, didn't it?
It really did. Blyden seems to be U of D's spark plug, but he does struggle on defense sometimes as he's a little bit smaller.
Yeah, and it's, not really his fault. He's got good energy. He knows what to do, but nothing you can do there.
The Johnson subs out Blyden. Pilots remain the same. Slaka to take a second. It's no good. Rebound Johnson.
See what Sonny cooks up here, working with this new zone.
Wilson directing traffic. Only a matter of time before the Cubs figure it out.
In typical Donnelly fashion, I think the Cubs are just going to try to pass this zone to death.
Johnson corner three. No good. Slaka struggles for the rebound, but he eventually gets it. Slaka with the ball now.
Cubs love to push their perimeter defense all the way up to the half-court line.
Like we said before, this is an athletic, fast U of D team. Most of these guys can play as many minutes as they need. Oh, Hatcher crossed over by Glasner. It's no good. Ikiche with the offensive rebound. Smith takes a layup, no good. Rebound Banks. Wilson
Glasner.
bounce pass Johnson. Johnson hop step. Layup, no good. It appeared to be blocked. Rebound, follow McCoy in the backcourt.
Johnson just needed to slow down there, and he's hearing it from Donnelly right now. Don't know if he'll make that mistake again tonight.
With that reaction from Donnelly, I would be scared to take another shot.
Yeah.
He's resilient. He's used to it. Smith now with the ball. Johnson picks him up at half court. Kiche pounding McCoy down low. Calling for the ball. Smith in the corner. Smith shoots a floater. It's good. Pilots take their first lead of the second quarter, 27-26.
Well, let's see more passing.
Pilots sticking to the zone. Three-pointer Hatcher. No good. And they call it out of bounds.
Yeah, that's probably the right shot there. I mean, he was open. And, as soon as you can break down that zone, you want to throw up a shot, but Donnelly's going to sit these guys down and talk about it. 2 quick
Cubs taking
shots
their
in a row.
first time out of the game. Half-minute timeout. Now, U of D will figure out this this zone, How long do you think it takes until they figure it out, Ian?
I think they'll have it figured out. If not, after this timeout, certainly the start of the second half. Those adjustments are going to be key. And, it's just so lucky to have a great coach like Donnelly. These kind of situations, you really trust him, and the players trust him. So I think they'll have it figured out right now. And if they don't even worry about it. It'll be figured out next half.
Like you said, this is a well-coached team. Best way to beat a zone, passing, and this team does that well.
Yep.
There's nobody on this team who I really feel like cannot make strong passes.
Cubs pressing, I like it.
Smith now on the inbound. Gets the ball back. Johnson picks him up full court. Xavier pressing Smith. Half-court trap. Slaka at the top. They beat it. Cubs switch back to normal.
De La Salle missed an open man there on the double team.
Glasner drives in, pump fake. McCoy pokes the ball from Slaka. Holder in the corner for 3. Air ball! Iquiche with the offensive rebound, and it's good.
Not much the Cubs could do there. They found the open shooter. They closed out on him, but that weak side rebound.
Iquiche's tough. He's a big guy.
Big guy.
Iquiche 6'7", 215. Hatcher is not that big. Banks at the free throw line. Johnson fakes it. Hatcher top of the key 3. It's good. Tie game. 24 seconds left in the half.
That's exactly what the Cubs are looking for.
Johnson picks up Smith half court. Eight seconds left remain in the half. Smith looking to chuck up a 3. Crossover move. Drives in, loses the ball, and Banks will throw up a miracle.
It almost went in.
Almost went in. Missed it by that
Really
much.
close.
Tie game at the end of one half. Both teams looking strong. Ian, what do you think is one key for this Cub team if they want to grow the margin in the third?
Well, I think they've got to figure out a way defensively to pinch down on Slaka without leaving those shooters open. They started out the game with a couple of great double teams, and then they kind of went away from that as De La Salle went with smaller, quicker lineups. But if the Cubs could find a way to get back to that and put more pressure on that big man down low, I think that will be the key.
Yeah, obviously, De La Salle switching to the zone late. Cubs seemingly figured it out with Hatcher making the wide-open 3 late in the first half.
Yeah, I had a feeling that zone was going to get figured out, and they did a great job with it, so happy to see it before the end of the half.
All right, I am Aiden London, joined by Ian Sherry. We will join you guys back later. section leaders, junior Will Waldman and senior Alex Bell. Will, what do you got to say?
I got to say right now, U of D student section is where it is at right now. Our student section is going crazy. It is awesome. The bowl is completely filled, and we are ready to make some noise.
Thank you, Will. Alex Bell taking a picture right now. Game recommences. Who's one guy who you'd like to see step up for the Cubs?
Well, I just want to see Banks continue to play well on defense, and maybe a little bit more from Hatcher. He lit up a three there at the end, had some good looks, played some good defense. I want to see more from Hatcher.
One thing I just like to see is continual making of open shots.
Yep.
This Cub team generates a lot of open threes. All that matters is making them.
Yeah, and they've been looking more inside today, and you know, De La Salle switching to that zone, obviously trying to adjust to that, trying to limit our inside looks, and so our response has to be more made threes.
An interesting look from the Pilots. They do not run Slaka in the middle. They instead run Ikiche. Now, Ikiche is also a big boy, but you would think they'd have Slaka in the middle.
Well, I think one thing is they're trying to limit the fouls on Slaka. You know, they get him a lot of minutes, so that's got to be part of it. And, you know, I'm not as familiar with Ikiche, but maybe he's a great shot blocker. Not so far tonight. The Cubs have been great inside, but, you know, they're going to do what they have to do to try and confuse the Cubs down low, show us stuff we haven't seen before because we are that good of a team. And it's just the kind of things that the Cubs have to deal with on a weekly basis.
Brandon Elsey getting the student section ready. That's your student body vice president right there. He's in full hunting fishing gear.
And these guys, everybody in the gym is pumped right now. First Catholic League home game of the year. Most excitement we've felt in, you know, over a year, right?
Yeah.
Looks like Akiche is going to be on the bench to start for the Pilots. What do you think of that?
I think, like you said, they'll move Slaka to the middle now. If he gets a foul, I would not be surprised if they bring Akiche back out.
Yeah.
Ian, I am glad we have these headsets, because if we did not, I would not be able to hear you.
Yeah, I'd be able to hear you because you have that booming voice, but
Blyden picks up Smith from half court as the second half begins. 29 all.
Pilots already running a half-court press break, scared of that Cub perimeter defense.
The Cubs really want to speed up this De La Salle team offensively. Pilots have been good keeping the game at their pace. Slaka working on Banks down low, shoots the hook shot, it's good. Pilots take the early lead.
De La Salle running a small enough lineup that McCoy's actually guarding Glassner. Probably the best scoring guard so far for De La Salle.
Banks gets a screen from, Wilson gets a screen from Banks. Banks calling for the ball down low. He's got Yakovic on him. He is fouled by number 22, Jack Janicek. Banks will go to the line to shoot two.
It's a smart foul. I mean, Banks is a big dude. He had the size advantage, and it's the kind of situation you have to hack, especially in a game. Not many fouls so far. It's smart.
Banks drains the first one.
I think Donnelly's had these guys shooting free throws, don't you?
I think these guys have been up past midnight shooting free throws in. Banks misses the second. I think we jinxed them.
Yeah, I'll take that. That was my fault.
Cubs still running that press, trying to get the Pilots to make a mistake.
Pilots love a slow offense, and the Cubs are just trying to speed them up.
Slaka with the tough, slithery finish, reverse layup.
I didn't know he could do that, to be honest.
I did not know he could either. I thought he was a back-to-the-basket guy. Johnson drives in. Whole head of steam, fadeaway shot. It's good. 32-33, Pilots lead.
Cubs with a quick response. That's two uncharacteristically fast possessions in a row here.
Johnson on Smith now. Pilots setting up their half-court offense. Slaka from the corner, no good. Rebound Johnson.
Pilots had some off-ball screens there on the strong side. They didn't use them, but I wonder if we'll see more of that.
Wilson drives in, tough finish, and one! Sonny Wilson.
He's just strong. He doesn't look the part sometimes. He looks like he's too thin to finish down there, but he's not. He's just that athletic. He's just that hard-nosed, and you're going to see more of that from Sonny, especially down the stretch.
Wilson drains it. Cubs lead by 2. Cubs showing full court press. Foot on the neck. Holder with the ball now. He's got a mouth guard on. Smith looking for something. Finds Slaka in the corner. Excuse me. Glasner with the ball now.
You notice that the Cubs keep this press going. They press far outside the three-point line, but they don't expend a lot of energy.
Pilots running mesh now. Cubs still pressing hard. Glasner stripped by Blyden. Banks on the break. Slamma-jamma Banks! What a dunk from Banks!
Great lead pass, great finish.
Holder now working on Blyden. Passes it out. And these Pilots run a play-by-play announcer's nightmare. They just slow the ball down. There's nothing to call for me. Slaka sets a screen for Smith. Smith drives in on Banks. Bounces off of him. Johnson on Slaka. Now Slaka shoots the hook and one.
I don't know about that call. I just don't know what you're supposed to do there. Do you want him to not jump? I mean, Slaka leans in with both elbows above Johnson's head, swinging into the contact. There's just nothing you can do as a defender. Banks got switched off his man there, and maybe he should have pinched down to help out Johnson.
Like we said, this Pilot team plays slow. They look for these switches. That's their game.
Well, I think they know that they just don't have the athletic advantage tonight.
Blyden breaks the press. Wilson should have gotten the foul call.
Yeah,
he slows it down, though.
Absolutely.
Drives in, finds Johnson on the elbow. Hop step. Blyden in the corner, shoots a three. No good.
Great look. Great pass. Didn't go in. But
like we said, need to consistently make those open shots. McCoy on Smith now. Smith travels, but they don't call it.
number 2 on the Pilots is their best shooter, and I've seen him open a couple times tonight, and they just don't hit him in those corners.
Call on Blyden now. Did you see it, Ian?
No. I did see that one on Sonny Wilson in the last possession for the Cubs, though.
Must be missing something.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm listening to Drake. I just don't get it.
No Drake references.
I'll stop.
Keep that to yourself. Big lineup in for the Cubs. It's about as big as they'll ever go.
Slaka working on Banks now. Shoots the hook, no good. Rebound Banks. Wilson in the lane, shoots a floater. It's good! 39-36, Cubs lead.
And twice Sonny used a hesitation move there, bringing his off-ball hand up to the ball but not putting it on there, making them think he's going to pick up his dribble.
Glasner cuts back door, deflected by McCoy.
The Cubs know that De La Salle is looking for those cuts, and they were all over that one. It was a good way to pinch down on the cutter because he did have a lane.
Slaka gets the open floater, he converts.
Miscommunication there from the Cubs, and there's going to be a sub.
Pilots clearly trying to foul. They're not getting it, though. And they call a jump ball after Pilots put 4 different Cubs in arm bars.
Xavier Johnson coming off after a couple bad switches there defensively, honestly. And Kandi Nwama in the game is a great defender, great athlete. And he'll be holding it down low for the Cubs.
Like you said, you thought this team got as big as they could. I think this is their biggest possible lineup.
Yeah, I stand corrected again. You'll even see in late game situations Nwama and Johnson in.
Wilson tries to pick Holder's pocket. Kicks out to Yanchik.
It's getting rowdy.
Slowing it down yet again. Glasner drives in. Blocked by McCoy! Rebound Nwamba. Wilson with the ball. He's pushing.
The Cubs right there, they have an extra size. They have McCoy in, and what they lose in speed, they gain in length. He's got enormous arms.
Hatcher swings to Wilson. Wilson drives in. Tries to mix up Holder. Passes back out to Hatcher. Wilson drives. Pass to Banks. Good! What a fine pocket pass from Wilson.
Wilson just weaving through traffic there. It's an excellent feed to the big man down low.
Smith shoots a tough floater. Wilson and Banks fighting for the rebound. Banks will get credited with it, though.
Yeah, that was not a smart shot. He'd really do himself a favor if he slowed down a bit.
And they say timeout Cubs.
I've never seen a home student section be more excited about the home team calling a timeout, but I appreciate the energy.
You know, I don't really know if they know what's happening, but I just love when people are enthusiastic.
Yeah, they might not know what's happening, but the Cubs are up. I know that.
I think that's all that matters. Tonight, after 7, all that matters is that the Cubs win, and right now they are doing that, leading 41-38 in the third. Special thanks to our visuals tech guy, Tyler Senkowitz. He's been great for us tonight. All those sweet graphics you see here, special thanks to him. No thanks to my not-so-little brother, Connor London, on the camera.
He's been fantastic.
Everybody's favorite JV bowler.
Absolutely, and you'll notice both teams really kind of milked that timeout. They both took it probably 10 seconds over the clock. Both teams need to make some adjustments here. De La Salle forgot whose ball it was.
Nwamba inbounds to Wilson. Double screen for Wilson from Nwamba and Banks. He denies both.
The Cubs staying with their big lineup coming out of the timeout. I guess they were figuring out how they're going to deal with all these bodies they have in.
Banks down low. Spin move. Reverse and rebound. Gets his own rebound. And they call a foul on number 2, Holder.
And I was hoping they would. Jump ball earlier on this near sideline here that Donnelly didn't agree with, and I was waiting for another one there, but I think that was the right call. De La Salle reached around his back there, and Banks had full control, so really it was a foul on the Pilots.
Wilson, the inbound man. You will rarely see that. Wilson, mid-range J. It's good! 43-38 Cubs.
Well, I don't know if you know, but the inbound man is the most dangerous man on an inbound play, and Wilson proves that right there. Just a wide-open mid-range jump shot that he knocks down every time.
I can say that with relative certainty that was a designed play.
Yes.
Slaka loses the ball. It's a scrum on the floor. Smith drives in, swings to Glasner for 3. Ooh, that was tough. Ikiche with the rebound, and they call a jump ball. Way to hustle from Sonny Wilson.
I think he had that layup on the baseline, and he kicked for the 3, got a little bit greedy, and you just can't do that, especially against the Cubs defense that's this athletic, this energetic. You can't make those kind of mistakes, those kind of poor decisions that De La Salle made right there.
Cubs have done a good job to this point shutting down Glasner. He has not scored that much as he will come out for Yanchik. They're going for the size.
He's hobbling a little bit, but he almost always is, isn't he, when you see him in the hallway?
It's kind of his thing, but he's still super fast, so I don't really mind.
Right.
Thanks, top of the key. Ikiche on him. Wilson fakes the 3. Pilots playing handsy. Wilson, floater no good, rims out.
De La Salle slowing the game down. The Cubs said that they could do the same thing. They're going with the patient offense too.
Slaka drives in and defensive foul. I guess there was a block there.
They collided there, and, that's a foul on Banks. I guess so. They were both moving, but probably a good foul, honestly. You want to keep Slaka out of that low post.
Willer fakes the 3. Willer's been quiet since his 2 first-quarter threes.
Well, he's been quiet since that air ball. The student section won't let him forget it.
Smith directing traffic. Slauko from the corner for 3. No good. Rebound Wilson. Donnelly tells Wilson to hold up. Cubs looking to set up a play with 20 seconds left in the third.
They want this last shot, and I think they have something up their sleeve right here. Donnelly's shouting out orders.
Banks comes to set a screen on the left for Wilson. Wilson drives in, shoots another floater. It's deflected, no good. Holder throws up a prayer. No good, off the backboard.
Well, those full court shots are getting closer and closer.
No, foot by foot, inch by inch, Ian.
I think the Cubs are going to make one. What do you think? Should they make one?
I think they should. It's worth 3 points.
Yeah, that's worth more than a layup and a free throw.
It's the same if you combine them.
You're right.
It's a Jesuit education, Ian. 2 + 1 = 3.
You probably can't hear this kind of thing if you are watching, say, the De La Salle Sportscast. They just don't have this kind of analysis.
And oh my goodness! The RoboCubs t-shirt drone is on the court!
The student section is cowering right now.
Ian, I've never seen a robot of this caliber. Oh my goodness! It is absolutely beating people! And it's gone.
Yeah, and the Cubs have a lot of great sports here. Basketball, track, that football team sometimes. The swim team was great. You know, the tennis team. But don't forget about the RoboCubs.
Man, I love the RoboCubs, Ian. Cannot believe what I just saw. Saw a rolling, pilotless t-shirt cannon.
I think there was probably a little man inside. What do you think?
I don't know. I think there was a robot. I think there's a dude controlling it somewhere.
I don't know.
I never give up hope in little men.
There was a little man in there.
Late in this game, 8 minutes to play. Cubs lead 43-38. Smith takes the tough layup, no good. Rebound Wilson. Wilson on the break. He's got men, and he decides to slow it down as Johnson was back.
Smith for De La Salle, certainly a dynamic scorer, but he just isn't quite on tonight, and I think it's about time you look for more of a distributing role. I'm not complaining, though.
Banks tries to put Ikiche in the spin cycle. Hatcher down low. It's good.
Banks with his head up there on a swivel, even though he's pivoting, working on his defender. He sees the open man behind him, and that's a great cut from Hatcher.
Hatcher talking trash to De La Salle's leading scorer. Ikiche on the elbow. Pilot still slowing it down.
That's
and
a carry.
Another missed
My
double
goodness.
dribble.
I don't even know what to say about that. Unbelievable.
We are in Motown, Ian. Slock it down low on McCoy. Double team. Throws it out to Glasner.
So that's exactly what the Cubs need to do, especially when De La Salle has two big men in. You can pinch down like that.
The Cubs daring Ikiche to shoot the three. Glasner finally gets one to go. Timeout Pilots.
Timely looking for a travel. They missed that carry earlier in possession. I just don't know what's going on with these referees. I hate to complain. We are winning, but I think they missed a few there, don't you? Well, De La Salle calls a timeout.
De La Salle takes a timeout. Cubs playing basketball in the key of life, still leading 45-40.
I think the Cubs have to have all the confidence right now, don't you? I mean, they've just had great energy. They've been strong down low. They ended that last half with a made three. Wilson's got a couple buckets. They're just rolling right now, and De La Salle a little bit on their heels. Offensively, they look all right, but defensively, they get mixed up when those Cubs have cutters and screens all around, don't they?
They really do. They've looked lost right now. I think they're playing gassed. And like we like to say, Wilson is that superstar player, and superstars come to play in the fourth, and he always delivers. So get ready for Wilson to elevate his play. Cubs break the press. Wilson on the wing drives in. Swings to Hatcher in the corner. Bump fake. And Pilots running a trap. Wilson working. Finds Banks down low. And Pilots running a strange press as Banks with a sweet finish.
That was just fantastic basketball from both teams, and the Cubs win. They're just patient and in control.
Pilots trying to speed it up for the first time all night, playing that aggressive defense.
They won't be speeding it up on offense.
Yeah, that's understatement.
I think they're getting slower.
I would concur with that statement, Ian Sherry. Number 4 from the corner, no good. Rebound Johnson. Cubs slowing it down. That was number 4, Adam Broski.
That's the kind of look that they're looking for. I just don't know if that's really in their best interest. They need for sure buckets here down the stretch.
Wilson with a floater. It's good. Cubs lead 49-40. 5:20 left in the ball game.
And those are the kind of the buckets that the Cubs are getting. You know, the DSL tries to slow them down. They're fine. They just play more patient. They send more cuts, and they get more open looks.
Smith working on Johnson. Pilots have 5 minutes to try to mount a comeback. Cubs trying to stop that as Glasner drives in. He is fouled from behind. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Glasner's not the flashiest player on DSL's offense. That would probably be Smith, but he is fast. He's an athletic guy, and right there, he just beats everybody around the edge, gets to the basket, and the Cubs have no choice but to foul, make that shot a lot harder.
Glasner makes the first. Holder and Ikiche come in for Broski and Slaka. Slaka.
Just relentless on these referees here, and you kind of love it. As long as he pushes it right up to that line, he doesn't cross it, though, and he's just going to ride these refs all night. He's got all the energy.
He knows how far he can go. He's been coaching for a long, long time, man.
Yep.
Johnson, the inbound man, hits Wilson. Wilson mixing up Smith.
This is where it pays off to have these veteran ball handlers that the Cubs do with Hatcher and Wilson, and guys like Banks who can control the ball and slow things down.
Hatcher trying to mix up Holder. Mixes him up, drives to the lane, tough layup, no call on Ikiche.
Donnelly is not happy, and neither am I.
You know what, Ian? I'm putting my foot down. I did not like that call.
Here comes Blyden.
Leroy Blyden, fan favorite.
Haven't seen him much in the second half. Cubs going with more of a defensive look, more length, but they want him here. They want that scoring down the stretch.
They say he matches up well on Holder. And you call Wilson on a hold.
He got mixed up with Smith there on the inbounds play. Both players playing aggressive, and still a disciplined game from both teams. I really enjoyed it. It's flying along, not much stoppage. Oh, he's got tucking his shirt.
Smith, the inbound man. Glasner now working on Johnson, gets a screen from Ikiche. Holder from the corner, no good. Rebound, Yanchik though. Pilots keep it alive. And Blyden deflects the ball and he steals it. Oh, but he loses it again.
De La Salle missed a guy wide open in the paint there last possession. They were looking for a three, but they've got to start taking those easy buckets.
Ian, I hate to complain. I hate to be a complainer. I hate to be a whiner. But this game's starting to get out of hand with these referees.
Yeah, I mean, we had a clear look at it down the sideline here, and just not sure what they saw.
Slaka gets the inbound. Glasner drives in, crossover move, spin move. It's good.
That's a tough finish. Cubs brought in Blyden probably to help with ball handling here, breaking this press. Actually, Sonny's going to take it himself.
Wilson, three! No good. They call it out of bounds.
Donnelly didn't like that shot from his veteran point guard there, and he's going to call a timeout. And Wilson made a little bit of a face there. I think he knows that probably wasn't the right call, but Cubs are going to talk things over.
Cubs lead by 5. 3:42 left in this game. Ian, who needs to take over down the stretch for the Cubs?
Well, I think they just all have to slow the ball down and look to guys, especially like Wilson, just reliable buckets. And that's the kind of thing they need offensively. And defensively, they can't get intimidated by De La Salle. De La Salle's been trying to do things, switching it up all game, bringing different looks, but at the end of the day, the Cubs have been playing good defense. They just need to stay confident on the defensive end, slow things down offensively, and get some good looks.
25 seconds left in this timeout.
And, as always down the stretch for 4 years now running, Wilson's going to be one of those guys that they look to. It's just a given. He's been fantastic. He's very clutch. So Cubs probably will lean on him.
Cubs show Wilson, Blyden, Banks, McCoy, and Johnson. Pilots not showing yet. They show Yanchik, Holder, Slotka, Smith, and Glasner.
This is definitely the more offensive lineup here for De La Salle. They're looking for buckets. They are down, so it's probably not a bad idea.
Wilson on Smith. 4-year rivals. Glasner working on Johnson. Spin move. And they say he stepped out of bounds. Turnover.
Oh my God, a call that went the Cubs' way?
Once in a lifetime, baby.
I've seen it all. It's big, especially coming out of timeout to get a stop like that.
Wilson, the inbound man. Inbounds to Blyden, and
that's a terrible call. That's a terrible call. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they were looking at.
I have no idea.
Like we said, we hate to complain. We do respect the MHSAA and all of its rules and regulations, but
they got that wrong. And that's consequential, too.
Glasner and Yanchik.
You still got that switch they were looking for.
Glasner takes a tough shot. No good. Rebound slapped out. Smith fires down low. Pilots to reset.
Not the look they were looking for, but they got away with it. They didn't use that mismatch they had down low, but they get the ball back. Clock is ticking, though.
Smith, this is Slaka down low. It's good. Cubs lead 49-46. Pilots take a timeout.
Interesting timeout for the Pilots there. I think maybe just to stop the clock. They do have a really long, patient offense, and the Cubs are probably going to look to choose some clock here, so I guess they have to think that over, but I would have tried to keep the momentum, wouldn't you?
I would. I mean, they're kind of rolling right now. They're getting everything to go.
Yeah, and, that call for the refs, they just had the momentum, and we just came out of a timeout. I think I would have tried to talk about those things then, instead of having to have that conversation now, burning another timeout and stopping the momentum. I mean, listen to the student section. That's all the Cubs need to get right back in this game. Well, they're winning, but the energy's coming back our way.
Cub faithful need to get rowdy late in this game. 2:49 remains. Catholic League implications are heavy right now. Cubs need to hold on. Pilots need to come back.
Pilots staying in that press. They have been hurrying the Cubs up a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit.
Both teams keep it the same. McCoy receives the inbound, finds Blyden. Blyden instantly breaks the press and passes deflected, but Hatcher recovers.
Great ball handling there.
Hatcher, that was impressive. He just dribbled through 4 guys, probably some fouls too. And Wilson gets a call. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Glasner on the foul.
I guess they caught him on the gather, which does count as part of the shot. He had his hands going in the upper motion, so I think that's the right call there, and the Cubs are fortunate to get 2 shots out of that.
Cubs trying to extend their lead to 2 possessions.
I'm sure the Pilots aren't too upset about stopping the clock here.
Wilson drains the first one.
Cubs always put their guards in a rebound and leave McCoy and Banks back. I guess just figuring why give up a bucket on the defensive end. Put those shot
They're
blockers
saying,
down there.
I think they got Blyden and Hatcher down there to press.
That's right.
And
They
Wilson
can
misses
pick
the
up.
second. And like we saw, these Cubs are pressing. Pilots break it.
He didn't know what to do with the ball.
2:18 left in the game. Nino Smith with the ball. Working on Hatcher, drives to the lane, gets a call and one.
I don't know. I think the offensive player initiated that contact. The defensive player was already where he was. He jumped straight up in the air. Just not a call I like. Cubs have got to lock in here. There's 2 minutes left, but they have the lead still, you know? Let's just score some buckets.
Nino Smith looking to make it a 1-point game.
He's going to miss this one.
And he did. Ian Cherry called it. You heard it here first, folks. Blyden spin move breaks the press.
He's grabbing him.
And Smith
He
is
missed a couple.
all over him, but no call. Blyden blocked. And Pilots recover. Smith finds Slaka. Slaka makes it. Tie game.
That wasn't the right shot from Blyden. He got hacked, but you can't take that shot. You can't let them speed you up.
Wilson now on Smith. Banks with the layup. No call.
Where is that foul?
Same thing they called on the Cubs, and I guess they're not calling it for Banks.
It's ridiculous.
Smith working on Hatcher now. Pilots doing their signature slow the game down move. Smith trying to mix up Hatcher.
Smith's been heating up, and Slotska's getting a lot of, I hate to say garbage buckets, but they're garbage buckets.
He's cleaning up. They dish it to him down low. He finishes. Slaka sets the screen for Smith. Slaka shoots a three. No good. Rebound. Banks finds Wilson. Wilson pushing. Hatcher down low. It's good. What a save from Xavier Banks.
Fantastic by the Cubs. Banks hustled for that rebound, and he didn't even know what he was going to do with it. He just knew he had to get that ball. He finds Wilson midair, and Wilson easily dishes to the finisher. It's just fantastic basketball, hustle basketball for the Cubs, and they're up 4.
Sure, that was miraculous. What a move.
Linus Gauman checking in. Haven't seen him, well,
I haven't
At least
seen
not
him yet,
this
but I
game.
think the Cubs are going with a free throw shooting lineup.
He is a
Gauman, a
good
lethal
shooter.
outside shooter.
He led that JV team last year along with Elijah Dodson, and you know he had the size last year, but he could stretch the floor too. This year he's not as big, but he's still going to be able to shoot.
He's a guy who you bring him in for. He's a great ball handler. He's smooth with it, and he can make his free throws. I like that call from Donley.
He gets somebody a breath. He's going to bring that energy on defense down the finishing stretch here, and I think De La Salle's going to be trying to either pound it to Schlaka or get those open shooters, and Gauman's going to be able to keep up with those open shooters. So I like the call here from Donley. I didn't expect it.
Cubs show Wilson, Banks, Gauman, McCoy, and Johnson.
Wilson huddling up like a quarterback, giving instructions before Cubs resume play here.
Pilots. Yanchek, the inbound man. Finds Glasner. Glasner breaks it. Glasner. Late call on McCoy.
That was a foul, but, you know.
Which you can't.
It's
If you're
frustrating.
McCoy there, you just got to let him shoot. Banks was there.
It's, you know, you don't want to stop the clock with this much time left. All you can do is jump straight up in the air. You don't want to reach over his back like McCoy did there. But, you know, the biggest problem there is that you just straight up beat him on the press, and that's the thing about pressing late. You can't let those guys run by you.
Cubs student section getting loud for Glasner's first. He makes it. And Blyden gets Gauman.
Well, they know that the Pilots are going to be fouling here. Down 3 at the moment with 32 seconds left. No shot clock, obviously.
Cub noise meter up to 95 decibels. They really want Glasner to miss it. He does not deliver for the Cubs. Cubs lead 54-52. Johnson. And they call Pilot ball.
That's just a great play there. They've got that smaller guard in there, and he's just bigger and stronger. He rips the ball away from Blyden and makes the hustle play to throw it off of him out of bounds.
Gauman gets Blyden again.
Pilots still have to score here, though. That's the hard part.
McCoy with the long arms, trying to hold back Holder's inbound as Yanchik drives in. Slaka from the corner, no good. Rebound Wilson. Slaka thought he could win the game. Wilson foul. He will go to the line to shoot.
It's just,
Or no, he will not.
plain and simple, it is not the right shot. I mean, they're down 2. You're going for the lead, sure, but he hasn't made any of those yet tonight, and especially as big as he is, why would he be all the way out there, Aiden?
Slaka, thought he could shoot threes. Tried to play a little bit of hero ball there. Not this time.
I mean, I guess I appreciate the confidence. It's just not what you're looking for down 2 late in a ball game like this against a great team like the Cubs.
And they call a foul on number 22, Yanchik, on the inbound. They call that pass interference.
Probably not a smart call by Yancic to foul there. You got to at least try to steal the ball, let it land. You don't want to foul without taking any time off the clock.
Wilson gets the inbound. Smith harassing him. Finds Hatcher. Hatcher slowing it down. Finds Blyden. Blyden is armbarred by Glasner.
He caught his neck. I think that should be a flagrant. He didn't look like he was going for the ball. He caught a piece of his neck. I don't know. I think the rest missed another one there. I guess that's the kind of thing you can miss, especially when you're expecting the other team to foul, but when a guy grabs somebody by the neck and the ball's not near the guy's neck, it's a flagrant.
Pilots calling for a timeout. They want to talk this over. 8 seconds left in the game. Cubs lead 2. Leroy Blyden to shoot 1 and 1. If he makes both, he could ice this game. If he makes 1, extends the Cub lead to 3.
Smart timeout, obviously, by the Pilots there. If they get this rebound, they've got to push it up the court immediately and put it in the bucket with 8 seconds. And, the Cubs have a good defensive team, so it's something you want to talk over.
Blyden needs to make the first one. If he does, Cubs could foul on the inbound, make him shoot free throws. But, this is tough. This is tough, Ian.
If I'm the Pilots, I'm trying to get that ball to Schlaka. You have time with 8 seconds. I think you want to leave him down court, maybe? Or at least make sure that he gets up there before you take a shot. I mean, obviously you're looking for the best look, but if I'm going to one guy, it's got to be the big man down low.
The Cubs not even going for the offensive rebound for Blyden here. Everybody's going back, making sure no easy buckets are allowed. But Blyden will shoot 1 and 1. This ball is live.
If Blyden makes 1 and we're up 3, you don't want to foul immediately. You want to take some time off the clock. You want to let them come down, and you don't give them a 3-point opportunity. You have to foul before that, but it is essential to take some time off the clock. Otherwise, you're just putting these guys on the line, and they're going to foul you, and it's going to go back and forth. You need to be able to run that game clock down, especially when you have the lead.
McCoy and Banks deep for the Cubs. Wilson and Johnson up probably for the press. Blyden misses the first one. Rebound Slaka, 7 seconds. 3 seconds. And
a Chris Webber timeout there. I mean, I just don't know about that. They had Slaka down the court. Xavier Banks was pressing up. Cubs were double teaming, but they had an opportunity to pass that ball down the court to Schlaka there, and they called a timeout. Not
Like
a
you
smart
said,
play.
Chris Webber-esque time management.
Ultimately,
Bad
It's
look
not
from
the
the
worst
defending
idea.
state champs.
it's not the dumbest call. You're going to get a shot that you at least have an opportunity to draw up here, but you're inbounding the ball from the other side of half court, because that's where the timeout was called, and you have 2 seconds to get a shot off versus a live game where you had an opportunity down the court for somebody to at least put up a shot off the catch and shoot. De La Salle coach is not happy, but they're working with it, it is smart not to be yelling at your players in this situation. You do want to take the time to drop a play, and they're doing that. So, see what the Cubs come out looking like defensively. It looks like the same unit.
Well, I think they brought Gauman in for Blyden.
You're right,
Need
they
a little bit of extra strength there. Gauman, former JV football player.
Just
Brings a little bit of extra
length.
weight, a little bit of extra height.
Length, weight, height, everything. And this is athletic grouping for the Cubs.
2.47 seconds remain. Yanchik, the inbound man. Johnson jumping for joy, trying to deny the inbound. Glasner shoots a 3. Air ball! Cubs win! 54-52. Knock off the defending state champs at home.
Fantastic defense. The Pilots try to go to the hot hand, but the Cubs defense is just too much, just too athletic, just too long. Great defense from Johnson there, and the Cubs come home with a 2-point victory, a huge win for their first game in the Catholic League at home.
Dr. Smith playing offensive line, trying to keep the Cub faithful off the court. It's not working, though. That's a lot of young men.
A lot of strong young men, a lot of strong guys in that student section, and they forced their way right out there, sure enough.
And this game was closer than I would have hoped, but man, did we get a good one to call, Ian.
Yes, we did, and here we go, Donnelly in front of us, just classy as ever. Cubs coaching staff is half as deep, but I would say more effective here tonight.
Yeah, U of D just looked to be more disciplined, made their open shots.
The U of D student section is storming right over the top of the Pilots, who are trying to get to their locker room. The poor away team just...
And our tech guy extraordinaire, our handyman, our everything, Tyler Sakowitz, is coming to get Sonny Wilson, looking for an interview after the MHSAA guy is gone.
You take it. Well, we hope you've all appreciated this sportscast here today. Tyler Sankwitz has been a huge part of us stepping things up. We've got graphics now. I believe the sound quality's gone up. And the cameraman's been great today, Connor London. So just a good performance from the Cub basketball team, and I hope a good performance from us.
I could not be more honored to call with a better group. Connor London, Ian Sherry, Tyler Sankwitz. Proud of all my guys, proud of this Cub basketball team. Way to stay resilient down the stretch.
And that's Aiden London, those golden speaking tones, calling this game on top of every little detail.
Ian, who do you think was our most important player of this game?
Well, Sonny Wilson's getting the interview. But, I liked what I saw from Johnson and Hatcher defensively. Both of those guys have a lot of length, and they were really tough, really energetic up top. Banks with some tough finishes. He had that great slam dunk on the fast break. So the Cubs really had contributors from all angles today.
Yeah, obviously, Cubs score less than 60 for the first time all season, playing at that De La Salle pace. And Wilson going to the locker room. We'll catch him next time, and we will catch you guys next time. My name is Ian London.
Ian Sherry.
Thank you all for tuning in, and God bless, and go Cubs.